Hey, in this episode, we are talking about Alien Earth, Episode 5. If you haven't seen Alien Earth, Episode 5 is like the beginning of...
Yeah, it's a standout episode. Alien Earth, Episode 5, can almost be watched by itself.
Yeah, and we break it down. I mean, there are so many awesome scenes in this that we had to dedicate a whole episode of the Sabo Ross podcast
to Alien Earth Episode 5. Yeah, this app really is fully featured. Like this app.
Well, I was blown away to see that there was an update because I've been checking. And I was like, I thought they just didn't. They haven't done an update long time.
6-7 months, I thought.
At least. And now with that iOS, I don't know if there's not a new iPad update yet, I don't think. But the iOS 26 for the phone, I thought it was going to screw up everything for stuff like that.
Well, it's interesting. MixEffect Pro, I am incredibly impressed. Like, I am in shock that the video follows audio is not something they've added into a patch with the actual Blackmagic software. Given that it's a staple function. Essentially, it's doing what Zoom does with auto detecting on sound and how long.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically imitating what's pre-programmed into Zoom.
Wouldn't you like to have that software for yourself? Like if we had our own software, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how they...
Everything's done through macros. They're hiding it with their interface, but they're essentially just doing a macro. And, but I still need to learn more about macros and how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it certainly has saved, like you said too, and I don't know what caused the audio to be so much better lately, but
I
you
noticed
were right.
it. I noticed it when I was playing. I was like, wow, it's already cleaner. It's already like so much of that is built into what we put in, what's already there, but it's just working better. Like, we've had weird issues to where it sounds like only one of our mics is on. And then we've had to do post-processing to make the other person sound good.
Yeah.
Haven't had to do that in a while.
No. That I put up part 2 of our Doom podcast. I don't know if you caught that. It went up today.
Yes, I did see that.
But the audio on that whole podcast, same thing. It's beautiful. I didn't do any adjustments to it.
Do you know what, though? I haven't finished looking because I'm doing a massive hard drive. I bought a 22 terabyte drive this week.
Okay, that's big.
And it filled it.
Oh, geez.
Filled it in 24 hours just by moving stuff around. But that also then freed up a 10 terabyte and a 5 terabyte drive.
Okay.
So, because I'm looking to do all kinds of different backups, but it looks like I have to buy another 22 terabyte hard drive for just
another.
I'm gonna have to buy another one in the next month.
Jeez, that's a lot of data you're hanging around.
Well,
I got a lot of data too, but I don't have 24 terabytes.
No, those are just my externals.
Yeah.
Internal, I have 2 16s and a 20.
And you got the Windows to be able to recognize all that?
Oh, yeah.
Have you upgraded Windows 11 yet?
I'm on Windows 11 with my editing machine.
Okay. Because I've heard some weird things.
No, Windows 11's been totally fine for me.
Has it? Okay. I might be updated. I just haven't noticed because I know it's been shutting off, doing whatever.
Well, do you know what's weird, though? I have a Windows 10 laptop that can't upgrade because it's just something about the CPU is not...
Okay, so there is...
missing this speed thing that won't let you upgrade.
Okay.
But there's some shenanigans going on because suddenly that whole computer is like 50% slower than normal on everything. And it's kind of nothing changed.
Yeah, they're trying to make you, they're throttling it somehow.
Somewhere it's being throttled. I don't know if it's in Windows or if it's with the internet. I don't know what's going on, but it is 100% throttled. So
I didn't get finished with my notes here ahead of you getting here.
Yeah, so here's what I've got for today, which is the one thing I have a bunch that I added for today of little short ones, which is the Harry Potter reboot. Yeah. Why?
That's fine. I did not do any homework on it. I kind of forgot that you brought that up. I did watch the episode 5. So
okay, because I have that first.
I wanted to talk about it because I got lots of questions.
Good. We'll start with that because they just
Okay.
did the final episode of Alien Earth.
Okay.
And then
Now, keep in mind, I've not seen, and here's the problem, what I forgot. I don't have Disney Plus or Hulu.
Oh, you don't?
No, I used to. It expired. And they raising rates again. Did you know that? They just announced it 2 days ago.
I got a huge discount by adding Hulu.
Yeah,
and in January, Hulu disappeared.
Yeah.
So I paid more to get Hulu.
Yes.
But Hulu is no longer going to be a separate app.
No, I know
January.
you. Yeah, they got us by and Apple's raising their rates on their streaming service. They just announced it. Yeah, they're all upping it. So I need to go back and rethink because I was like, I don't really care about Disney or Hulu. I really don't use them. If they make the interface better for Hulu,
they're just.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed when I did the upgrade. It's weird because I thought I didn't have to have the separate Hulu app because everything was suddenly on Disney.
Yes, that's how mine is or was.
But, and also the other thing that's really interesting is the picture and sound is better on Disney Plus for the Hulu stuff.
Oh, it is?
It's not quite, there's nothing on Hulu has Dolby Atmos. I mean, not even Alien Romulus did not have an Atmos audio track on Hulu, but it does when you watch the movie through Hulu on Disney Plus.
Well, for me, the Hulu app, standalone app, quit working once I signed up for the combination package.
Really?
It wouldn't open anymore. So if yours is still opening, that's amazing.
Mine's still opening. I have the latest version of the Hulu app.
Yeah, see, mine wouldn't do it.
And whenever I watch something from Hulu now, I would still watch it on the Hulu app just because.
Well, that's better because then you're right there in Hulu.
Yep.
Going through Disney Plus, I can't
There's
find
layers.
Yeah, there's too many layers, and then I get frustrated. And if I don't remember the title of what I'm looking for, I can't find it.
Yeah, I have on my list of favorites, likes, and all that.
Yeah.
I am going to start throttling back my streaming packages. There's just. It's too expensive, and the truth is, I'm not watching as much as I used to.
I totally agree, especially like Alien Earth. It's on FX.
It's on FX.
And I might even have that in one of my TV packages.
Yep.
I probably do, because I have YouTube TV. I don't know if FX is on there, because I don't go through all the YouTube channels. I only watch a certain few.
Yep.
I might already have it. Real quick, I wanted to do something I wanted to do a technical thing here. Okay. I wanted to show you this. And I'm thinking about getting a second one after I try all this out. This is a pluggable USB hub that can handle my heavy-ass iPad. But what's cool is we're talking about how we want to feed the switcher.
Yeah.
It has...
I see an HDMI out.
HDMI out. It also carries all the SD cards. And over here, it's got headphone on it and also high-speed USB 3.1.
And it's a stand.
Yeah, and it's very sturdy. Like, I was like, I was on a little, just to have something, because most of them, they sit off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being a stand comes with this extra little high, it's like 5G something cable, like extra, but...
Does it also have Ethernet?
That's what it doesn't have. I thought it did, because I was like, man, if we had Ethernet, then but still.
Actually, you can do? Since it has USB-C or USB-A 3.0.
Oh, yes. We could run an adapter, right?
Run an adapter right off.
Oh, we got to try it then. That's what I'll get the adapter. We'll set it up with that because I want that to stay connected.
Hardwired.
But I like the look. And then I thought we would match.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was going to do is I was going to make us some Sabo Ross experiment
stickers.
Yeah, since we got all that stuff.
I'd love that.
And start putting branding it. Yeah,
we'd be more branding, but also, what was the cost of that base unit there?
This is $60.
That's not bad considering everything that it has. The biggest thing about it is you'll spend $20-25 just for the HDMI like cable.
Yeah.
USB-C to HDMI. So that, but having everything in there all at once. Now, is that also a battery?
No, I mean, right now it's running off
AC.
Yeah, there's an AC. This one type C coming in here is powering the whole thing. Yeah. Now, you wouldn't. I don't know whether you could not power it and get HDMI out? Do you think you could? You probably could. The iPad would just power it.
It can. It depends on the circuitry.
Yeah.
I know that some do, some don't, because because if I'm out and I need to film something and I'm panic and I didn't bring my Osmo Pocket, I have a little mini kit that lives in my car that has
that's right.
USB-C to HDMI for iPhones, but you have to have a battery pack for it.
I was going to say you carry your battery packs too.
But now that I think about it, the whole point is no, I can answer that question. Unless you have external power, it will not do HDMI powered by the iPad or the iPhone.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, I have that one little type adapter that goes to my phone, or it could go to this. It will send HDMI out, but it has a little light on it, and when I plug it into the phone does power it.
Really?
Yeah, it's...
Because I've tried 5 or 6 different ones.
Yeah.
They all have USB-C for the phone and a separate USB-C for power.
I see.
And I found that it didn't work unless I powered it. Even if I had the little tiniest power bank, which would last 6 hours.
Wow.
Because it doesn't take a lot of juice to power the HDMI out.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was pretty cool. It gives us a good look. I like it. It's real sturdy.
I like that a lot. That's really cool.
I didn't get far enough to hook the HDMI up and everything for today, but I thought if you had the cards and everything, and you're running the switcher right there, and then you could. Well, I don't know, because if you get out of the app, it quits working probably, right?
Yes, it's not that the auto functions will quit working.
They do, huh?
It'll still be on, but it won't be auto switching for us.
Okay, bummer. Because I thought maybe if
it's not up.
Well, we could switch it. You could have the unit, and I could just have that and just pay attention.
Yeah,
because it's in auto mode.
It's pretty. We haven't had when we first started doing this and started to automate. We had so many bumps in the road, but now almost entirely because of MixEffect Pro, the app. The paid version, the $50 version of the app, we've had almost no issues. Once we switched the mixer, we've been doing really, really, really well with how this automated works. And I've been super happy. I mean, but so much of that is also the fact that we're pre-lit.
Yeah, but it took us a long time to get this running.
Yeah.
Correctly. And I think this was the key.
The key to that is having a stereo mixer. Because of the way we're doing MixEffect Pro for the auto switching, you have to have hard left, hard right.
Yeah, which I didn't understand really. And then you figured it out. We're running all that to one camera and then through.
Yeah, we're running both microphones left and right to one camera.
Yeah.
From the one camera, we're still keeping it separate as
through the mixer, though, with
From
the pan.
The mixer, it stays hard pan left and right. In the camera, it stays hard pan. When we go to the switcher, we tell it to be 2 separate mono tracks, and everything is based on the audio of each track, which means if we ever added a third person, we have to have a separate mixer for them.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Separate mixer or just a separate mic input.
Yeah.
We could do one of the Rode Go's.
That's true.
And run that into the audio, and then through this software, we can say, okay, when this audio from this third microphone reaches X volume level, cut to this camera for X amount of time.
Okay, this here's what this leads me, and we'll get to the movie stuff here if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So
this is the greatest part.
Yeah. So here's I wanted to tell you what my new idea was. That I had started this. Hazel and I had started this during COVID, so we started this Hazel the Chef because she loves to cook.
She's a very good cook.
She is on certain. She can't cook. She's not a. She can't do bake. What do you call that? Baking goods or what do you call this?
Sweets.
Yeah. What do you call that kind of cooking where you do cookies?
Just desserty kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There's a name for it.
There's a name for it.
Yeah. There's some people that's all they can do. They can make baked goods.
They can do the pastries and whatnot.
Yeah. So I started realizing that you like to cook.
Oh, yeah.
I like to cook. Not that I do it very often because I got Hazel the Chef, but food is a very popular, nonpartisan.
So true.
That we could throw in some food stuff, talk about, because in my feed, I get dishes all the time. And then I go to Hazel, and I was like, what if you made this? So find some things that you like, because I know you might have a particular palette.
Extremely
Yeah,
limited,
but
little tiny palette of.
We could. Fall's coming up, people think about pumpkins and pumpkin spice and whatever, and then Hazel the Chef's going to make it.
Okay.
And
well, one of the fun things we could do is we could set up a remote camera.
Oh yeah,
Because what most people don't know when we're making this is that while we're recording or prepping, she makes our dinners, and as we're done,
that's
we get
true.
to eat. So the one thing is, we could occasionally check in with Hazel, hey, how's the cooking going?
I love that idea.
We have one camera in the kitchen to check in on to see how's it going in there.
Yeah.
And if she starts talking to us, then the camera will cut to her.
That's a great idea. I didn't think of it that way.
And it would make sense because we'd have the little road goes on it too.
So like what I was thinking with her, if we wanted, hers would just what you just said, she would always be in the kitchen. So I'd throw a few lights, camera, and yes, we could just cut to her in there. But it requires a little bit of pre-planning on our part, because of the ingredients and things. But she did really well for a while, but that was COVID with people. So I think that's a nice new layer for our show.
Okay. Just absolutely. But just a sidebar, because we're on Wi-Fi, we just got disconnected for a short time.
Oh, did we?
For just a few seconds.
Yeah.
Everything's back. And I do have to go back into here. Oh, I have to turn the video follows audio back on. Whenever it disconnects, it turns the auto.
So at least it
off.
goes to the wide shot then, I think.
No, we just got lucky. It was on the wide when it went off. We got lucky that it was on the wide when it was off.
Yeah.
Whatever camera it's on, when it disconnects, that's the only one on.
Oh, of course we got ISOs.
We have ISO.
That's right.
We didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of, again, I have been having so much fun doing this podcast because I like the technical side so much. I'm used to being on the other side of all of this and not being on camera and just controlling the switch. That automating it has been fascinating, but also the combined know-how of you with lighting and the cinematography and the cameras and the lenses, and then my knowledge of the switcher.
Yeah, I know, it's perfect.
It was the perfect fit.
I know. I knew it from the beginning.
It made sense.
Yeah.
And that's why it's...
And the fact that you've shown me, things in my world that weren't part of my world got me interested in movies again. I used to be a big-time movie because I had kids.
Yeah.
That was a good pastime.
Going to a movie all the time.
Or even, with your girlfriend and, all those kinds of date night. It was a movie,
Yep.
But I lost all that. Part of it's because of streaming.
Yeah. The other thing is, when you have a big-sized TV at home, here's a theory. Everybody's heard this term, larger than life, right? You've heard that term. Well, here's the thing that makes movies special, especially what used to be exclusive to the home theater. The reason why movie theaters never really went out of business before post-pandemic was because, at home, there was a great ad. I like bringing it back around to where it belongs, with Star Wars. When they did 1997, the 20th anniversary of Star Wars, they did the Star Wars special editions. A lot of controversy over all the changes made to the movie. Who cares? What I want to talk about was the marketing for this. The marketing was a trailer that showed a little television screen.
And they changed the voice, so the voice are like this. He goes, for an entire generation, you've only experienced Star Wars like this.
And they're showing a television. And then the CGI X-Wing comes out of the TV and the surround sound kicks. And then the voice is that deep podcast type voice.
Yeah.
The movie trailer guy is like, experience Star Wars in the theater where it belongs. And the thing that was different was, you know what most people didn't have at home? Surround sound. You know what else they didn't have? A big TV.
No, not at all.
A big TV back then was like...
Well, it'd be a console.
17-inch CRT TV.
Wait, what year?
We're talking 1997.
Oh, sorry. Somehow I went to 79.
Oh, no, I'm talking about... But it wasn't... 1979 and 1997.
Yeah, the 20.
TVs were not that different. A big TV back then was maybe 17, 20 inches was enormous.
I think in 97, I got a great story. So in 1997, I was, in the video, always going to NAB buying expensive equipment because that was in the heart of my, that's when they came out with the first plasma TV I can't remember if it was Sony. I don't know what brand it was. Anyway, I was in New York City. I just bought my Panasonic Varicam, bought the deck, et cetera, had a gig in New York City, and all my salespeople were in New York City. They just got in 50-inch plasma.
Like $3-4 grand?
More.
Oh, man, probably like 5.
Yes. So I was like, I got to have it. So I stopped in there, and one of the guys just kept driving in circles, nowhere to park. Well, I ran in. I looked at it real quick. I was like, oh, my God, 50-inch plasma. It's commercial grade because they didn't have really consumer. It didn't even have a tuner in it. I said, I'll take it. And it was like $5,500. Here's a credit card. Ship it to me. I take off. It shows up at home. I get it unboxed. It's the first time I ever got a mount to put it up on the wall. I put it down in the basement, had a little rec room. And the first thing I did with it is I hooked up my, Microsoft Xbox. And I forget the game. It was the most popular game in 97. It was the alien guy. Halo? Halo, yeah. I put Halo on, and I just sat down there and played Halo on that. I never used it for production. I didn't get a road case. I made it my TV, put a tuner on it. The problem was you get burn in on those.
Yeah.
And
those original plasma are also, if you ever put them like this, kill the TV.
That's right.
Because I remember at Micro Center, when you'd buy a TV, if you were putting it in a cart and you laid it flat, salespeople would run like, don't do that, don't do that, you're ruining the TV.
Yeah, there was a lot of things. So yeah, you're so right. Things were just changing, and it may even be like 98. Getting my years.
Yeah,
but just in the late 90s.
The thing is, but what that changed was it started with the flat screen TVs, plasma into LCD, LED, all of that. What really changed was the size.
Yeah.
Because you'd go to a movie theater because, as I've mentioned this before, larger than life, I think of 2 examples, which is Jurassic Park and Titanic.
Oh, Titanic for sure.
So Titanic, the big thing was in a movie theater, you're seeing an 18-foot tall depiction of this giant ship. That affects your psychology as you watch. You are far more likely to get into the movie and be enthralled when you're looking at a giant ship on a movie screen.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
As opposed to on a little 13-inch TV VCR combo, little tiny ship with no real surround sound.
Well, and the sound too in Titanic. The
sound in Titanic is what sells the imagery.
Yeah.
When you have that surround sound and that booming bass rattling your chair in the theater, you're more likely to believe it because you see and feel it. It's one of the things that makes film one of the more unique art forms in that it's hitting multiple senses at once in a way that no other form of art does.
Enough that I went out later, not with that plasma TV, but later in life, I went out and bought the full Bose system, 7.1 or 7. I can't remember exactly. I was mounting speakers behind the couch, up in the ceiling. It's still got half that stuff upstairs. You don't use it anymore.
I do.
But man, it felt so good to go up there and crank that.
And so that's one of the reasons movie theaters are suffering right now, which is you can get that almost IMAX experience at home.
Right.
Because the biggest thing about larger than life to think about is even something as very simple as the human face. When you cut to a close-up of an actor today, even on a television at home now, that is larger than their face is in reality.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, the human face is just like 14, 15 inches. But on a TV now, you can make it 25 inches tall. That's bigger than it is in reality.
Yeah, it's
you can get closer to a face on a TV now And then that larger than life aspect affects you psychologically when you watch because you're closer to the character the actor than you could in real life.
Same way
it's immersive. And when you combine that with things like surround sound, that immersive experience that used to be exclusive to movie theaters is now at home.
It is. Well, it's the same way with sports. I mean, now that it's football season and, you know, I'm running that, 98-inch TV, I get so into it, you know, if it's your team that you love, if it's the Buckeyes or whatever, and I'm like right there, close. But now with that massive TV, I realize I got to walk back, stand back behind the couch, let my eyes rest, because even when I'm standing 12 feet away, I'm still immersed in it.
Yeah.
It's like it's changed the whole game for me because I can see that penalty. I can see that guy holding. Before, even on a 50-inch, I couldn't catch it. You know, blurred, whatever.
And the other thing they're doing with like sports is they're doing that at really high frame rate or in digital refresh rate, the 120, sometimes 240.
Yeah, if you can get 240, what a difference. I mean, that's big.
The detail.
Big. Yeah, 240 is big time.
But the thing is, though, is like this is a huge debate out there in the world. Like my old roommate and I would get into huge disagreements over. He would turn on that high refresh rate for movies.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, that's horrifying.
Once you turn to make it look like soap operas.
I hate it.
Oh, my God, I can't watch it.
To me, it's not a film.
No.
And in fact, that even happened in a movie theater.
Oh, it did?
For me, with the Hobbit movies.
Oh, that turned into...
shown in HFR, high frame rate.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that on.
Well, here's the thing, though. It was a trade-off.
Of what?
The 3D... at the high frame rate looked amazing.
Oh.
Because when I watch a movie in 3D at a theater, 20, 30 minutes in, my eyes just adjust and flatten it.
Yeah.
And it's no longer 3D. But with the high frame rate, it stayed 3D the whole time.
But you're having glasses, though, aren't you?
You have to wear the glasses.
Yeah. Okay. You still can flatten it out with glasses?
With those 3D glasses, my eyes just... Because here's the problem with 3D as a concept. 3D in movie theaters never fully work because the human brain understands parallax. 3D movies don't have parallax because it's not a hologram. So your brain knows there's something wrong. It's popping out, but when you change this, there's parallax. There's the way layers do this. Well, a 3D movie doesn't do that. It just pops out, and no matter what you do,
that's true.
When you move your head, so your brain is just like, something's wrong.
Yeah, some people, that's the problem with some people can't, their brain can't figure it out, and something wrong becomes making them sick.
Yes. It gets a thing to where it doesn't look right. And for me, all that happens is my brain just flattens it down to two-dimensional. Because I
used to turn around, and I don't go to theater for 3D anymore, but I used to turn around.
Not many 3D movies
I didn't think so. And look around and see, like, who's taking their glasses off, you know?
Well, I've taken the glasses off, and then the image is blurry on screen.
Yeah, it's, double.
Yeah, it's the double image that makes
sucks
it 3D.
Too.
So it's just, to me, 3D movies, like, because that brings me to one of the things I wanted to talk about today is earlier today, the trailer for the third Avatar hit.
Oh, it did?
It hit today.
Okay. I didn't know that. I knew that it was coming soon. So tell me.
It comes in November, I think November instead of December this year.
Oh, no. Well, from that James Cameron piece, I still thought it was in December, but...
Well, it could be December then.
It could be a Thanksgiving thing.
Could be Thanksgiving. I don't know if he's going to release it early or if it is still set for Christmas. So you saw both the original Avatar movies?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Avatar?
Well, the first one blew me away because the technology and everything, the story, and had so much hype. The second one had just the same amount of hype, but since I already knew kind of what it was, the colors and the animation and everything, so I kind of knew what to expect. So it was really about the story.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's the same old story. It's a displaced entity, race, whatever. So you have to really get into the story in order to really enjoy it.
So for me, the first one, I'm a huge James Cameron fan. I have been since, even Rambo, which I think came out after Terminator, but was written before Terminator. So I like James Cameron, and I've loved his story. He was a truck driver that wanted to get into movies. So he went to USC Film School and just would go to their library and read the books that all the students had to read. Like he would get the itinerary of the class for film's graduate students.
I see.
And he took the classes himself for free at the library.
Yeah, that's how smart he is, though.
And he learned.
Yeah.
He was motivated. And then he started doing effects.
Yeah.
Visual effects, or not visual effects, special effects. Technically, there is a difference. He was doing special effects for Roger Corman, the B-movie guy. And the biggest thing he did was Escape from New York.
Right.
He did he did a bunch. Like he painted the Manhattan skyline on a piece of glass they put in front of a camera out in Kansas City and made it look like they were in Central Park. They were in an actual like field and claimed with his glass painted. But then he also did the computer graphics from the glider were cardboard boxes with blacklight tape that he did all of this himself and then filmed it. And that's computer graphics in the movie.
Yeah.
So he did stuff like that I always loved that this guy was ingenuity. And the biggest thing that changed with him was he had a really bad experience making Aliens in London. He was at the studio and the British crew hated him. They treated him horribly the whole time. They really didn't like him. And it was contentious. And then he just became dictatorial and kind of a dick on set all the time.
To get what he wants, though.
Yeah. And so when he did The Abyss, like the documentary that he approved of shows he was a brutal dictator on set.
Yeah.
And what happened though is before he made Avatar, because he told this story at Ohio State, he came to the student union in January of 2010 and I was there. I was in the front row, feet away from him. And he told this hilarious story about how he watched the Lord of the Rings documentary. He's like, wait a minute. The crew doesn't hate the director? They all get along? What world? Like, it's the opposite of everything he'd known. And he's like, and then he goes, and then I was making my documentaries and I found that being an asshole when you're in a submersible
it's not
for
a good
9 hours, it doesn't really work well to be a dick to the 3 people you're stuck with for 9 hours in about 6 square feet.
Oh man, I didn't think of that would just be awful.
So he's like, I found that being a dick was not really working out for me at that point. So I thought maybe I should try something different, like not being a dick. And it was really interesting to see him kind of U-turn his whole style and persona.
Well, that too, this thing is he had made it. I think sometimes not everybody can relax because if you go back to the one director that really is a dick is who did all the where they turn from car to robot Transformers.
Michael Bay.
He's a dick. I'm sorry. I got to actually meet him on a job.
He is Michael Bay is notoriously not nice. In fact, just the other night, she only did one movie with him, and Scarlett Johansson kind of shit on him on Stephen Colbert the other night. Shit on Michael Bay.
Yeah. Well, see, I think he can get away with it now. When what's her name did it from the one actress that got
the one that was in the Transformer movie.
Yeah, boy, the studios turned on her. They sided with him.
And now they've changed their mind.
Yeah.
Because he's not exactly getting a lot of work these days.
I don't think so. I mean, he's still, somebody, but I don't think that he's relaxed his style at all. So now he's behind the scenes more, I think, kind of
this is
sponsoring.
So my big thing was, like, one of my biggest heroes is, of course, Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
But I would never, ever, ever want to direct a movie the way he did. Like, he was so cruel to Shelley Duvall on The Shining. And then there was even the stories of, like, Scatman Crothers, the older guy who had The Shine. He did this thing where he did 80 takes of just him getting off of this snowcat and running into the building. He had a meltdown because the dude was in his, like, 71 years old. He had a meltdown. Like, what do you want, Mr. Kubrick? I'm trying to give you what you want. I don't understand. Like, he had a meltdown till Jack Nicholson stepped in and said, "You got what you needed, Stanley." And walked him off stage.
What do you think some drugs were involved in some of this stuff? Because I wonder sometimes if these guys are, you know.
I mean, I'll risk the lawsuit and say I'm fairly certain Michael Bay did cocaine. But Stanley Kubrick did that shit. Stone.
You don't think he did LSD?
No.
Oh man.
No, I think Stanley Kubrick probably would have been diagnosed as OCD.
Yeah.
Extreme OCD.
Yeah.
And I think that was more a mental health thing where that he managed to channel it into art. He had a specific way of doing things. And because he was successful, nobody would step in and call it a problem because that's how he did things.
Right.
And similarly with somebody like Michael Bay, it's like whenever, like another guy, Brett Ratner. Now, Brett Ratner, I don't know if he was a dick. He was very, very friendly with a lot of people. But, you know, the accusations of kind of sexism and stuff like that just destroyed him as a director. Like that, the Me Too stuff kept him from ever working again as a director. I think he's still part of Rat Pack, the hedge fund stuff. But
I wanted to circling back to James Cameron in that when he was doing that interview at Meta, he said that he was the second filmmaker besides to go digital right after Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
He went digital. I'm just trying to think what film it was because I can't remember what he said.
It was probably one of his documentaries. But yes, weirdly, James Cameron, that's another huge change that happened with James Cameron after Titanic. Because Titanic, the shoot, was also like the most epic. Like not train. I mean, it would have been a train wreck had it been any other director. He went through 3 cinematographers on the film throughout the course of the shooting because he was a camera op.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the good directors are.
Well, Ridley Scott will operate camera. At least he used to operate camera on his own.
Well, he wants to see through the lens. He wants to see that framing.
He wants to be in the trench.
Absolutely.
He wanted to be in the trench, and a lot of those good directors were good enough to do that, where you'd have a DP that wouldn't touch a camera, and the director would be holding and operating the camera.
Yeah, even handheld.
So, but with Titanic, one of the things he learned was after that was probably his biggest ego thing, and then he was rewarded for it. And instead of getting worse, he did get better. James Cameron did. He became friends with all the people. He used to be super competitive with all the other directors, but after Titanic, he's like, but I've won Oscars. The movie I made, like he was king of the world, so to say.
Yeah. Well,
and he's kind of like, there's no more Everest. It's over. So he became friends with George Lucas and went digital because of George.
Okay.
He became friends with Ridley Scott, who he followed up with Aliens, and they seemed to have a rivalry until after Titanic. James Cameron did a series called The History of Sci-Fi or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the series, but he did this series on the history of science fiction, both novel and especially movies and TV. And he interviewed George Lucas, Ridley Scott. It's him talking to these guys. Guillermo del Toro. He's super not competitive. He's very friendly. And they had these amazing conversations between peers.
Well, that's sort of like a musical, like when these certain great guitar guys get together or vocalists, same kind of idea.
Yeah, like a super band.
Like, yeah, they would be against each other, like in the magazines. Oh, this guy said this about this.
And then they get together.
And then they're like sitting next to each other like, hey, I respect you.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing was seeing him talk with Ridley Scott to me was mind-blowing.
Yeah, that would be
good.
And
what was really interesting was there was another thing is when they did the big like Blu-ray set of Star Wars, they had this whole section of all these famous filmmakers that were just praising what George Lucas did. Like you had Peter Jackson, James Cameron, Ridley Scott. They're all talking about, it's like, yeah, when I saw Star Wars, I was so jealous because I'm like, I wish I'd been the one to do that. I wish I'd been the one to.
Ridley Scott would say.
Oh my God, he said that influenced Alien more than anything else. It was like Star Wars, that made me want to make Alien.
Wow. Hey, why don't we transition to Alien Earth? Because
let's do it. Perfect segue.
Yeah,
right there.
What a great.
So we talked about it in the last episode. We talked about Alien Earth versus Alien Romulus a bit.
Yeah.
So you being more the camera guy than me.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think of my assessment that it's like Romulus looks like a feature film? And Alien Earth looks great. I think it even looks cinematic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like a movie to me
Well,
for some reason.
Here's my thought on what happened, and I'm just specifically referring to episode 5.
Episode 5.
Well, first, if you go through all the way to the end, I watched every credit, and I'm amazed of how big these credits are for
a streaming show.
Yeah, I mean, so many effects people, and I don't know whether they're just throwing that shit on there because one did something on one episode, one did something on another. But they get to the very end, and it says, a thanks goes to the 1979 set crew of the name of whatever that ship was, which I didn't.
Nostromo.
Yes. They said, thank you, 1979 set crew. So
you know why? The one thing I saw, they have the FX put out a making of the set design. They had as many of the blueprints as they could find of the original set.
Okay. Yeah, because when I watched it, I kept going like, man, this is like 1970s. And they used it very effectively to give you that feel, especially even in the sound design, the click of every little. Because I remember when we had those old CRT with the green. And
and the click
yeah,
keyboards.
the click. And they used to build tension and everything. But we can come back to that. So what I saw cinematography-wise that kind of, because I've had this happen to me, and they must have went for it. They did it on purpose, I guess. There's too much smoke. So when you're lighting a set, and we love to throw smoke in there. And I was an AC for a Hong Kong DP, and he came in, and those guys, when they work in Hong Kong, they're a mile a minute, and they would use smoke a lot. And the first thing would come out of his mouth all the time, too much smoke, too much smoke. And I really never knew because I wasn't shooting at that time. I didn't really know. But what happens is all those crazy lights, and especially LEDs if you're using anything, because if you're not using hot lights, you can't cut through that smoke. You can't create those rays. But if you're using some LEDs, when they come through that smoke, it flattens everything out.
Instead of creating depth.
Yes. And then when you go and put a LUT on top of it, and you start to also get noise. The smoke becomes noise. But at the same time, if you're just trying to hide a bunch of poor, say your set's half-ass, say you got a lot of good pieces, but I mean, you don't have the detail, like down to like a Star Trek, every little thing. If you watch Star Trek, there's not smoke going on all the time in there because they've made every little monitor, this button, that button, and it plays beautifully. So there, you get that 1970s feel like you're shooting on film. Same time with all that smoke, you're flattening everything out. So your depth becomes it almost looks like it's not realistic. So that's my opinion. Too much smoke. It didn't give us a clear representation of everything.
The original used tons of smoke.
Yeah.
In the original 1979 Alien.
Yeah, but you're using hot lights.
Using hot lights.
And when I say hot lights, people, that's tungsten.
Yeah, they were using real bulbs.
Yeah.
That generated heat.
And they can really, because I used to use Molpars all the time. My favorite thing, I use smoke all the time. I use color. This is when I was just out doing whatever the heck, because I liked Ridley Scott. So I was like, that's one of the...
and his brother, Tony Scott.
Oh, Tony.
Was the smoke master on set.
Oh.
That was kind of the thing you're known for, is most people don't realize when you look at Top Gun to True Romance, and Revenge, every Tony Scott movie, Days of Thunder, every interior set, he smoked.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is, if you're going to do that and you got the money to have the big ass lights that you need to, because we used to use xenons, even xenons, to give those beams. I use Molpars, tight, super tight beams. I would always have those running around. But once we switched to new technology, and let's say I got an LED for now, it's a joke. I can't cut that thing through smoke. So it just looks like just a flat scene.
It actually removes detail from the background instead of adding depth.
Yeah, and then the lenses don't flare as well. Smoke,
but they were using true anamorphic lenses on Alien Earth.
Yeah, those Hawks. They were using all those Hawk lenses. So that's my. Not that I didn't like it. I still loved it, but I would have loved to have a little more detail in the set. I did like where they had the screens and he had that chair, and he just scrolled down all those monitors. That was my favorite part of the whole set. I loved that, and the way they cut that, and his hand, they kept cutting to his hand, going back, forward, like an editor.
Yes.
You know. Oh,
yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong. I thought there's a bit of controversy over Alien Earth. There are people that love it and hate it. Very few people are ambivalent. Fans of the original Alien stuff. The thing is, even with Alien Romulus, which I also really loved, I just skipped like 10 minutes towards the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's like 10 minutes towards the end. Like, I just hit fast forward, and I love the movie. There's just a little thing they do at the end that's like, well, you overdid it. You overreached. And, but if on Beauty of Home Video or on even on stream, it's like, let's fast forward through that. And then it's over, and I'm happy.
I need some help, though. So I not talking technical, like, you know, of the way it was filmed and things, but the storyline of episode 5, Alien Earth.
The whole reason I told you to watch it is it's the 5th episode, but it's chronologically the first thing that happens.
Good. Because I was like, I got to go back and figure out, well, what happens here? But what I don't understand is the guy that's the head of security who becomes the captain in episode 5 survives, I guess.
Yeah.
The very last 5 minutes, I got so confused. There's the alien. And
the reason it's confusing is the ending of that episode is the beginning of the first episode.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So it leads into. So because they played them out of order intentionally, that was a big reveal.
So that's what they mean by Alien Earth then. So this is all taking place on Earth, and
everything else takes place on Earth from that moment on.
Well, how did he survive then?
There was that little protection tube underneath, and what's funny about
that room?
In that room, he crawls into.
I couldn't figure it out.
It's like a protective escape pod thing, and it explains an answer from the first movie. In the first movie, when Ripley becomes captain, she's allowed to go into the computer room. Mother.
Yeah.
She's allowed to go in there only because she's captain now.
Uh-huh.
She goes in. She goes through all the security stuff to get in. She's by herself. And by the time she gets done reading that the crew's expendable, the android Ash is right next to her. And I was like, how did he get in there? Didn't she hear him? They're saying, well, now you can find out he was in the little compartment in the floor.
Okay. My God.
So there's a whole big thing. It's like, he was secretly hanging out in that little party room down there.
Yes. Okay, I got another one for you because this, I got a lot, if it's okay to go through it.
Let's do it.
Because this just blew me away. So we've got the lab area. Let's just call it the lab.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or they were calling it the zoo.
The zoo. Okay, sure. So you got that little creature with the eyes who sees all over the place.
Yeah.
And
spider eye thing.
Yeah. So he seemed to be like a cute little guy or girl, trying to save her from the one lady. But the point I'm at
was he trying to save her?
Well, that's what I want to know. Who is he, and why was he able to attack the
creature? Here's the thing they're saying. That winds up being the smartest creature in the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely smart. Look how he got himself.
Way smarter.
How he got himself out of that.
Way smarter as the show goes on. You find it.
Oh, he's involved in the show more.
All the other alien things are.
Oh, wow.
That's the thing is, so
wow.
Normally when it comes to a series like this,
yeah.
What I don't enjoy is whenever a filmmaker or showrunner feels like, well, I've got to make this my own, and they start inventing their own stuff to throw in, I'm usually turned off. But in this case, I felt the opposite, which is like they apparently sent this ship, the Maginot, to some planet to collect samples of species and bring them back. Mm-hmm. And they found 5 different species. The eyeball thing, the xenomorph with the eggs, eggs and the xenomorphs. They're the 2 bugs that are like mosquitoes that blow up with blood.
Yeah.
Then there's 2 more flies that we don't see till much, much later.
Okay.
And then there's the plant thing.
I didn't catch that.
So that might not have been in that episode. It's in episode 1. There's a plant that looks kind of like a giant, like praying mantis type plant. There's a whole other plant thing that So they have these 5 different species. And normally I'm turned off with when you
Uh-huh.
add stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Everything they did with this was phenomenal.
Okay.
Because unlike a lot of other people dealing with the aliens here, it's like these all felt more like from nature. These felt like variations of plant life or bug life that we find relatable as humans from our own planet, just in a different size and form. As opposed to what Ridley Scott did, where he decided to make, well, this android he invented actually invented the aliens. I'm like, this whole show is saying we're ignoring all of that. We're just pretending that Ridley Scott didn't do that. We're going with nature again, where it started.
Okay.
And so I like that stuff. Now, the whole thing is the eyeball thing gets really good.
Okay.
It's the best thing.
I already like him. Now, maybe I should.
Way better.
But when I didn't at first, I didn't catch the fact that he was in that guy's head. I didn't know. That guy's standing there with his back.
And when he turns around, you
yeah,
see the weird eye.
But I didn't know. And then he goes after
the alien.
And they got a fight going on. And that's where I'm like, what the hell's going on? How is something able to fight that thing? And it got really interesting, that part.
The show, I just saw the big season finale.
Okay.
And yeah, everything in the show, Noah's show, he nailed it. That's just so weird on a business level that they're going on 2 different tracks. They're doing the Alien Romulus, which they did instead of doing Ridley Scott originally was doing Prometheus, Alien Covenant. He had 2 more movies to do. But since neither one of those were big hits, and then Fox got bought by Disney, they're kind of like, too much money, not enough return. They decided originally Alien Romulus was meant to be a low budget because they were reviving 2 of Fox's biggest properties, Predator and Alien.
Yeah.
And originally they did a Predator movie and they called it Prey.
Yeah.
And it released only on Hulu, but it was an enormous hit. And everybody's like, this should have been in theaters, which is why the new one that's coming out next month, the new Predator movie by the same guy, same director,
he's going to get it, right?
He's directed it, and it's hitting theaters.
Yeah.
Because it was so successful.
I'm glad because I think people they just need a different thing to go see.
Yes.
We don't.
And the same thing happened with Romulus, which was they gave it to this horror filmmaker, Fede Alvarez, and in pre-production, they liked his idea enough, they pitched it to Ridley Scott, who signed on as a producer, which brought them a ton of money. But at the same time, Ridley's also like, so there's like 2 months ago, Ridley was in an interview and said, I'm done with the Alien franchise. I've said what I need to say. The next generation has it, and I don't care. And then like 2 weeks ago, he did an interview and said, yeah, I might still make another Alien movie. So it's like,
yeah.
What?
He's trying to find if Alien Earth is popular enough and Predator, why not, right? Because if it's back in and the different generation is liking it.
Yeah, and the problem is they are developing a sequel to Alien Romulus with that cast, but Fede Alvarez is writing and producing, but he's not going to direct. So they're doing a sequel to that movie.
Yeah, what would Ridley do?
So the whole question is Ridley's on as a producer. The thing is, contractually, he gets a producer credit no matter whether he lifts a finger or not.
Yeah, he sure would.
So whether he does anything on it or not. But I know that Fede Alvarez, he screened a rough cut of his movie to both Ridley Scott and James Cameron and got their notes on what to do with the movies.
That's nice.
And so he made some changes.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
I got to go. Can we go to another scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, this is spoilers, but, we're only talking about
one episode.
This one episode. This blew me away as well. So you got the one guy that's the doctor, I guess. He's got like an army jacket on, green, and he's smoking cigarettes all the time.
Yes.
Is he a doctor?
He was the ship's doctor.
Okay. So that the great scene where they build up where that one little escapes out of the
capsule
that didn't want to eat the dead rat, jumps out, and how they built the scene where she's the lady that's in there that's I don't know what her job is.
She's a scientist.
A scientist. And she's doing everything. How laxed all these people are is amazing. She's drinking the water,
almost drinking the water.
Yeah.
Once it gets infected with the little tadpoles.
Well, but prior, they cut to it where she slams it down, and they really give you a good sound effect, and then the water comes out. It's a nice close-up. Water's coming off and goes down on the table. I was like, what is that all about? Ahead of all this. Because it's like, why you cut into a close-up of this landing and everything. And then, so that little creature gets his paw up there, opens the lid, crawls out. She's not paying attention, goes right for the water, lays all the tadpoles, and then goes in her sandwich or something. I was like, what is going on?
I mean, but just think about this on the filmmaker level. So they do the whole thing to where little alien guy, bug guy, lays eggs in her water.
Yes.
And they are constantly cutting to her reaching for the water. They show the tadpoles in it. She almost drinks, sets it
goes
down,
to a whole meeting.
Drinks,
goes to a whole meeting with it.
Takes it with her to a big meeting.
Like somebody would do. They would carry their water everywhere.
And it's just like, but just so simple a concept.
Yeah.
But we as an audience like, don't drink it.
Yeah. Well, see, they know they got you because that's the thing. That's a gamble. But they know that they think that that's what you're going to, what you just said, like, don't drink. And that's what I did the whole time. I watched her exclusively, and they tricked us every time, right?
Yep, because like 3-4 times she went to take a swig and then sets it down.
And they played it out so brilliantly to the apprentice mechanic.
Drinks it instead.
Who they built a whole scene of him with the food. He's like, well, he starts eating, and the lady's like, fuck you, this is a meeting. And then, he's like, this is something my grandfather would say. Well, if there's food, you eat it. And there was food there. So he eats it, and it's too spicy. He grabs her water. Uh-oh.
And it was so brilliantly done. And it's such a simple...
Oh, it's great.
A simple filmmaker trick, but
yes.
The whole point, to me, of movies is you're manipulating the viewer. You're making them think and feel things about fake events.
Yes.
Fake things that didn't happen, that aren't real. There's no real tadpoles in there. That guy didn't really die. But we cared, like, don't drink it.
Right.
Like,
well, we wanted, I was like, how long is it going to take before there's some kind of reaction? But this is where I was going with it. This is the one that caught me off guard. And I had to go back and think about it. So, okay, the boy, he drinks the tadpoles, the water, and he gets ill. Okay, so they put him in isolation, sort of. They throw him in this tray that you would have, like a pull-out tray in your refrigerator. It slides in, slides out. And...
which is straight out of the original 1979 movie.
And the captain's like, they're going back and forth, and he's like, all right, go do surgery. And it's like in a blink of an eye, they don't have any masks on. The doctor and the scientist are in there.
Yep.
They pull him out. Next thing you know, his whole chest is ripped open. No blood. And no mask. I don't know if he even had a cigarette hanging around somewhere.
It's just
what happened there?
Very much how we would have felt in the 70s when the original movie was made.
Yeah,
but
that was just
the original
insane.
movie. Though, they did wear, doctors' masks.
Yeah,
but face masks. But the interesting thing to me was they treated this episode like an alternate reality version of the original 79 movie. Like, what if we tried the things they didn't try in the first movie? Which is like, okay, because if you look later, it's like when you didn't see it in the first episode they show, it's like, well, I think it was an episode. They're like, well, we killed the captain. What do you mean you killed the captain? I was like, well, we cut the tail off of the facehugger. The acid cut through his throat.
Oh,
killed him. So it's like in the first movie, they're like, well, we can't because it might kill him.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, we had 2 of them, so we'll try it with one. And they didn't know it had acid for blood.
I didn't know the captain was dead. So I missed that part.
Yeah, because you had 2 people, when they wake up the security guy, 2 people already have facehuggers on them.
Yes.
The captain and like another officer, which is who the girl who's now captain, she was having sex with the other guy.
That's right.
And so she's worried about him.
Yes.
And it's like, this is where this whole thing's going sideways.
Well, and that, so I wanted to get to that scene because that's another one. So the facehuggers, okay, 2 of them, right? They're sitting there looking at these 2 people that have the facehuggers on them, no masks. They're just laying there and they're looking at them. You got this creature breathing over their faces, and they're just looking at it like it's nothing. I was like floored
the
by
biggest thing
that.
about it is we have the advantage of having seen all of the movies.
That's true.
From their perspective, they're like, we don't know what's going on here.
But still, they are creatures they discovered from somewhere that are out of their cages.
Yeah.
They're right there. Why couldn't it just jump off his face onto your face?
Well, the reason why is from that is the life cycle is...
But they don't know that, though.
Yeah, exactly. They should be worried about that.
Yes.
My big thing is, like, it's just like in the first one, like, why don't you just freeze them?
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like...
But as we saw, it wouldn't have made a difference because they do freeze the one guy.
Yeah.
And it still gestated and came out.
Yeah.
Even though it was frozen.
It sure did. I don't think they got it cold enough.
Exactly. Or regardless, maybe the alien is not affected by the cold.
Or somebody shut the freezer thing off, because if you go back and she's dropping the dirt on it, it's not frozen anymore.
It's not frozen anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because when it did freeze, they
showed the one guy was actually betraying them all.
Yes.
The one that was avoiding the cameras and sabotaged the ship.
Yeah.
Which sets into motion the rest of the series.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. It's just...
Well, so if you haven't seen it, it's well worth watching.
I think the series, so far, I think it's very good.
Yeah.
The story is less about it's called Alien Earth, but it's not as much about the Xenomorph.
Okay.
As much as it is more about the idea of androids, hybrids, and people that have like partial synthetic like
so
limbs.
That's kind of what all the motives is, because at the end of that episode, you got this powerful woman, or who I don't know who she is, and then during that episode you got another guy that was trying to get these creatures. So there's obviously a power play. They need these for something.
Yeah, the whole thing is, what's really funny about this is like the geekdom in the original Alien, they kept referring to the company that they worked for.
Yeah, yeah.
And it had a name, and it's all over the set, but it's never spoken once. Weyland Utani Corporation.
Right.
Well, the funny thing is, in Aliens, same thing. They never say the name in the original theatrical version. In the long version of Aliens, the one called Special Edition, they do say Weyland Utani, and they show it more clearly on the set design stuff. But they don't say it. And then they've done other things. In the Alien versus Predator, you had Peter Weyland. They had the guy. Then in Prometheus and Alien Covenant, they deal with Peter Weyland again. They deal with but they never said Utani. Well, the woman is Utani from the Utani before those companies merged.
Okay.
So they're doing a whole thing with corporations, but then Alien Earth, they're talking about, well, in their version of it, Earth is run by nations. 5 corporations.
Oh, it is.
The entire Earth and universe is run by 5 companies.
Okay, so you find that out
in the show.
In the show, okay.
And because one of them is run by a company called Prodigy, run by this young guy who's a genius.
Okay, so that's the guy, one of the guys in that.
That's the guy that you saw that paid off to
sabotage everything.
Because he wants to get Weyland Yutani's stuff.
I see.
Without paying them for it.
Yeah, of course.
And so they actually do some very interesting corporate stuff that explain how all that works. So it's an interesting, I like the take on it because it is a say on how companies like Amazon and people who run it, like Jeff Bezos and people like X and
Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk. It's like, it's a question of
which powers are going to...
When do they overtake governments?
Yeah. Well, right now, Sam Altman, he's getting all the money. OpenAI is getting all the money. I mean, everybody's investing in... OpenAI wants to take over the world. I could see that now up there. Just like what in Alien Earth, there's OpenAI somewhere floating around, just controlling everything.
It's on its way. You can tell.